While this Remembrance Day may be virtual, we are asking that you show the same respect that you would if you were sitting in the audience. Please remove your hats and put all phones away. Please stand for the playing of O Canada, which will be sung by Sierra and Zoe Compton.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patron love in all of us command. Contemplasse porter paix, il s'est porté à toi. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our lands glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Soldiers fought and battles won for peace on earth until the fighting's done. They left their homes and said goodbye to fight a war with loved ones left to cry. We remember when we love, when we give. We remember when we stop and forgive. We remember so many lives they never lived. We remember. We bow our heads and close our eyes to honor those who freely gave their lives. Bring them home, keep them safe. Freedom's ours because they were so brave. We remember when we love, when we give. We remember when we stop and forgive. We remember so many lives they never lived. Let their stories change your heart. We remember when we love, when we give. We remember when we stop and forgive. We remember so many lives they never lived. We remember. Soldiers
Welcome to our CCVS Remembrance Day ceremony. We have gathered together this morning, as all Canadians will have in every school in the country today. We are here to remember the sacrifices of the generations that came before us, and to acknowledge the sacrifices of those who serve in our military around the world today.
In 1914, war broke out in Europe and quickly spread throughout the world. The Great War ended at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, 1918. Today, we remember the fallen soldiers not only of World War I, but of all the wars of the past and unfortunately the conflicts that still rage on today.
Canada is a nation of peacekeepers and peacemakers. For over 100 years, many of our soldiers have given their lives in the pursuit of peace, in an attempt to make a difference in the world. Today, in honor of those who came home from the war and those who didn't, think about how we can make a difference in our communities, in our country, and in our world.
I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for the memories. Remember the good times that we had. Let them slip away from us when things got bad. Clearly I first saw you smiling in the sun. I wanna feel your warmth upon me. I wanna be the one. I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for memories. I'm so tired, but I can't sleep. Standing on the edge of something much too deep. It's funny how it feels so much, I cannot say a word. We are screaming inside, oh, we can't be heard. I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for the memories. So afraid to love you, more afraid to lose. Clinging to a past that doesn't let me choose. Where once there was a darkness, a deep and endless night. You gave me everything you had, oh, you gave me life. And I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass
now read Honoring Heroes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to honor our service members and remember the sacrifices they have made in honor of our duty, in honor of our country. The Greek philosopher Thucydides once said, "The bravest are surely those who have the clearest vision of what is before them, glory and danger alike, and yet notwithstanding go to meet it." We are here today to honor our heroes, to remember their achievements, their courage, and their dedication, and say thank you for their sacrifices. Thinking of the heroes who join us in the group today, and those who are here only in spirit, a person can't help but feel awed by the enormity of what we encounter. We stand in the midst of patriots and the family and friends of those who nobly serve. The service members we honor today come from all walks of life, but they shared several fundamental qualities. They possess courage, pride, determination, selflessness, dedication to duty, and integrity. All qualities needed to serve a cause larger than oneself. Many of them didn't ask to leave the line, to fight on distant battlefields. Many didn't even volunteer. They didn't want to go to war because they loved fighting. They were called to be a part of something bigger than themselves. They were ordinary people who respond in extraordinary ways in extreme times. They rose to the nation's call because they wanted us to protect a nation that has given them and us so much.
Many Canadians have fought and died on the battlefield, here and abroad, to defend our freedoms and way of life. Today, our troops continue to make the ultimate sacrifices. And even as we lose troops, more Canadians step forward and even say, "I'm ready to serve." They follow in the footsteps of generations of fine Canadians. We have awarded medals to many soldiers, added their names to monuments, and named buildings for them, to honor them for their bravery. But nothing can ever replace the hole left behind by a fallen service member, and no number of medals and ribbons can comfort the ones left behind. Today, people throughout the country will gather together to remember, to honor, and to pay gratitude to those who have served our country. Our gathering is just one small spark in the flame of pride that burns across the nation today and every day. It's not a lot, but it's one small way we can honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice so we can live in freedom. Your presence here today and that of the people gathering all across Canada is a tribute to those who lost troops and to their families. Thank you for attending today. It's a way to say, we remember.
Forrest Phillips will now speak of the contribution of our First Nations people to Canada's military heritage.
To all those gathered here today, remember, who've also gathered once in a place not unlike this, and prepared themselves for a battle, a war, that they knew they may not return from. The bloodlust Shonhi became allies to those who one day request for their help, their people, their clubs and arrows. They would be called upon for bravery and resilience, their sharp eyes for snipers, their original language for code talkers, their traditional knowledges for medicine and healing as nurses. Many generations of hunting and tracking have now become an asset for the war, as indigenous soldiers ran messages and tracked from the enemies, using their knowledge and personal connections to the land around them. Although it's their choice to offer their bravery, they could not be forced to fight, yet they did, so they could protect the 7 generations to come. Each time there's been a need, indigenous people have volunteered to serve in the Canadian Armed Forces. They are valued in the War of 1812. They served in World War I and II, the Korean War, and the Gulf War. Indigenous people have risked their lives in the defense of democracy and peacekeeping, United Nations, and humanitarian missions. In 1994, Neta was the first province to mark Aboriginal Veterans Day on November 8th. That special day is now recognized across Canada. In this room we sit as those soldiers, those warriors once did. At a time of great conflict, people stood together shoulder to shoulder. They stood as one to protect and ensure the return of man or woman beside them. This is what this day is all about. For all their gathered minds to remember, to never forget that our people fought for our future and the many future generations to come. Yama.
Oliver Hodgins and Usman Bilal will share a reading of In Flanders Fields.
In Flanders Fields, home by the world's most famous war memorial home by Lieutenant Colonel John McCree, in Flanders Fields the poppies blow between the crosses row on row that mark our place, and in the sky the lark still bravely singing fly strays ahead amid the guns below. We are the dead, shot days ago. We lived, fell down, saw sunsets glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields.
Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high if ye break faith with us who die. We shall not sleep though poppy grow in Flanders Fields.
Adeline Fontaine and Manahel Salim will now read the contribution of animals during wartime.
As you remember the men and women
risk their lives in times of war, the SPCA and the federal government of Canada is reminding us not to forget the sacrifices and contributions of millions of war animals.
During the First World War, 8 million horses were killed and another 2.5 million were injured transporting soldiers, arms, and supplies into battle.
Dogs were four-legged soldiers in their own right, rescuing army personnel and civilians, delivering messages, acting as watchdogs, and detecting dangerous gases, explosives, and environment.
But horses and dogs weren't the only animals to serve in war.
Brave birds were sent into tunnels to detect poisonous gas. Donkeys, reindeer, and elephants were used to carry heavy loads. Cats were also put to work catching rats on ships and carrying messages around their necks in battlefields.
Carrier pigeons were particularly important in war times. With a good sense of direction and the ability to fly up to speeds of 100 kilometers an hour, pigeons flew through nasty weather conditions and direct gunfire to deliver important life-saving messages.
At army camps, animals were kept as pets to boost the morale amongst troops. Cats and dogs offered comfort and companionship during the dark times of war.
Last year, the Canadian Animals in War dedication was unveiled in Ottawa's inauguration park to honor the millions of animals that served alongside troops. The federal government said it was contributed Last year, the Canadian Animals in War dedication was unveiled in Ottawa's Confederation Park to honor the millions of animals that served alongside troops. The federal government said it contributed $98,000 to create memorials, a cost many veterans say is necessary to mark their contributions.
Between 1943 and 1949, 54 animals, including carrier pigeons, dogs, horses, and one cat, have been awarded the Dignity Medal, an honor established to recognize animals that have shown devotion to duty while serving. After 51 years, the Dignity Medal was revived in 2000 to honor Gander, a Newfoundland dog whose actions saved the lives of Canadian infantrymen during the Battle of Blind Mountain in 1941. Last year, a dog named Theo, who served as an armed and explosive search dog in Afghanistan, was also awarded the medal.
But whether they received an award or not, the SPCA and the Canadian government is reminding Canadians to remember all the animals who served in wars. Countless animals, named and unnamed, have served and saved human lives in the process.
This Remembrance Day lets remember and honor all of them as they demonstrate not only their service for us, our peace, and our freedom, but they also highlight the important and continuing partnership between humans and animals.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets streets of cobblestone. Neath the halo of a street lamp, I turned my collar to the cold and damp. When my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking. People hearing without listening. People writing songs that voices never share. And no one dared disturb the sound of silence. Fool, said I, you do not know. Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words, like silent raindrops, fell and echoed in the wells of silence. And the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made. And the sign flashed out his warning, and the words that it was forming. And the sign said the words on the prophets are written on the subway walls and tenement halls, and whispered in the sound of silence.
We will now have the laying of the wreath by our admin team.
Please stand for the playing of the last post, which will be followed by 2 minutes of silence and then reveille.
Talk of trouble is sent through the country, and we need an army to fight for the right. Young men enlist and are sent to the battle to fight the offender and help our allies. And the young men cry, "Oh Canada, we'll gladly go and fight for thee." And the young men cry, "Oh Canada, we'll fight to keep you free." The battle's raging, gunfire is blazing. A tired young soldier is clinging to life. He's ordered on and obeys by advancing. No hope of returning from the enemy fire. And the soldier cries, "Oh Canada, if it must be so, I'll die for thee." And the soldier cries, "Oh Canada, I'll die to keep you free." And we own this, oh Canada, the land where we all used to be. And we all long for Canada, the true north, strong and free. The soldier cries, "Oh Canada, if it must be so, I'll die for thee." And the soldier cries, "Oh Canada, I'll die to keep you free." Far away we have seen a great danger, and yet there's a danger much greater within. The noise we make as we constantly bicker would hush not a whisper if we listen to hear. All the thousands cry, "Oh Canada, is that why we have died for thee?" And the soldiers cry, "Oh Canada, we died to keep you free." And the soldier cries, "Oh Canada, be true and strong for me."
Please be seated.
Remembrance Day is a time to honor our veterans, to remember our soldiers, and to plan for the future they gave us. Throughout the day, think of how each of you can remember and how each of you can share in their dreams to make this world a better place to live in.
Today we invite you to the two memorial plaques in the hallway past the library near the stairway leading down to the gym to take a moment to honor past CCVS students who gave their lives for you to have the freedom you have today. Thank you.